Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. The air filter and the dusted air box, the leaking air box report at 15,000 odd kilometres. As you may have known if you've been following our videos on both of our YouTube channels, 4x4 Diesel and 4x4 Adventures. And a lot of people talking about these air boxes on the Prados and other vehicles leaking. Let's be clear here, the diesel engine will suck whatever air it needs to run from one place or another. Okay, so this is the air filter that's just come out. Telltale hole, let's check the blue on the other side. You can see only a little dot there, so it doesn't look too bad. There's a lot of really fine dust here. Just giving it a bit of a blow up with the Makita. The Makita actually works better. It's got a smaller hole on the end, so Ryobi +1, good, but the hole's too big. I think we need to all email them and ask them for adapter kits, some, $20 kit where you get a selection of different fittings that go on the end, different size holes. Another way for them to make money and make us happy. Anyway, what's going on here? You can see all the dust around the seal at this side. That's fair enough. What I've noticed with these filters so far is, I don't know if they block up in the middle here, but when you go to blow it out, not much comes out there. A lot comes out the sides, and this is where I've noticed this is where they leak the worst as well. Now, let's have a quick look underneath on the clean side. You can see, just open it up, trying to save you some time and got ahead of the game a little bit. And that was me that wrote high there to give you an idea of how much dust gets through. It is usually worse at these edges here. You can see where I'm just touching it there now. Oh, that's normally the worst of it. Okay, so we'll give it a bit of a clean up anyway. This is why MAF sensors need to be cleaned, because the dust does get past the air filter in the bottom here. You can see, why does it look quite clean? It's not pulling with dust. Well, the pre-spinner down here, this thing inside here, it's still intact as the air goes through. It separates a lot of the dust, and a lot of it goes down out that one-way valve, and it sits down there. And I know that because every now and then when it gets dusty, I blow the engine bay down, and there's a whole heap of dust sitting down there that gets blown out. So if you install a snorkel and block all that up, then you're going to get things right here are going to get a lot worse. So on this one, this is factory. It's not my job on a brand new 2022 Prado. So these have been out for 7 years, that is, with the same air filter box design. Obviously Toyota aren't worried about the fact that this amount of fine dust is getting through there. So if they're not worried, we probably shouldn't be too worried either. I believe that the EGR system and the soot and that abrasive carbon would be larger size particles than this dust here. If the EGR is okay for the engine, then the dust is obviously okay for the engine as well. Not what I like to see, not what's normal, but this will be getting, look, I think what I'm going to do is, this looks pretty bad. It is. I've got another filter there. I might put the new filter in. I might just clean up the seal area. I haven't put the grease there. The grease on this rubber seal, rubber grease, in case anyone's going to ask that one, that's the, I use the Penrite. It's red rubber grease, right? Not the brake fluid, not the PBR brake fluid rubber grease, if you know what I mean. It's the Penrite rubber grease, okay? On these seals, I believe it does help, because as I said at the start, the engine will suck whatever air it needs, whether it comes through the filter here or whether it comes past the seal, whatever the case may be. Some people are saying, turn it over, I want to have a look at the other side. Well, we will in a minute. Just have a good final look at that to see how bad it is or isn't, right? It's really fine. It's really not that bad. And you can see by in there, it kind of doesn't look too bad either, but look at the dust just sitting there, But anyway, let's turn this over. I have blown it out. So I'd like to point out, see, this is fairly clean here. Where most of the dust comes through is these two end elements. I think I mentioned that in another video on other vehicles. Hard to demonstrate really at the moment. It's hard to see in there with the amount of light that we've got. But most of the dust that comes through at these end areas. So what I reckon you could do, you're probably just going to choke the engine up because that's where it's breathing at the moment. You could actually put a bit of K&N spray oil on there, and that would make it harder for the air to get through these sections here on each end. Okay, so that's something that we may do on another trip, but at this stage with these vehicles and these air filters, it's preliminary, doing a bit of R&TU. Okay, so we're going to give this box here a bit of a clean up. We're going to give this a clean up. I've blown this out already. Give the seal a bit of a while. I think I'm going to put it back in for now because it's a bit of a see how it breathes fuel economy test as well. So just a quick one to let you know what's happening with these pretty well standard 7-year so far leaking air boxes. And I don't think you're going to stop it, because the engine needs to get the air that it needs, you know, this thing. And if it can't get it past the seal or through the filter, it's not going to run. So it needs to come from somewhere. And if this is covered in dust, it's going to bring some of the dust through. That's what's in the air. It's got to come through. So let's see how it goes. That's a video. Bada bing, bada boom. You know the deal. Catch you on the next one.